Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. In today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to make a Hara Pyaz ka paratha, which is essentially a spring onion paratha. I'm going to be serving it along with a Chole Methi Sabzi, and it's a delicious combination. It makes a great weeknight dinner or even a special weekend lunch, along with some raita and maybe a suji ka halwa. So I'm going to be using this turbo chop to quickly chop up the Hara Pyaz. So let me just dive right in and show you how to do that. So into my turbo chop, it's a very sharp blade and it can be used for a variety of different things, and even finely chopping up or making a paste of the green onions or the spring onions. I'm just going to quickly go and roughly tear them and add them inside, and it just makes chopping and mincing really quick if you if you're not a knife person. Okay, just going to quickly just put it to the side to ensure that it doesn't cover the top. Place the lid and then start pulsing it to chop it to the consistency that you want. Notice how the spring onions are, slowly getting chopped, and you can even make it a paste if you want to give it a good color. If you want, you can leave it with some texture and chop it to how you like your paratha and how you like the texture of the Hara Pyaz to be. Okay, I'm just going to do it a little more and then so it blends well into the paratha. That's it. So I'm going to show you how it looks and see how it looks. It's got a beautiful texture and this is exactly how I want. It's nicely chopped to the way I like it. And now I'm going to show you how to make the paratha dough with this spring onion mixture. So into your multigrain flour or the whole wheat flour, I'm going to go ahead and add this spring onion mixture right into the atta. I'm going to go ahead and add some salt. Just a pinch of red chili powder and some roasted jeera powder. That's it and nothing else. So if you wish, you can also add a little bit of turmeric powder for the color, but you can omit it as well. So now I'm going to sort of mix all this up and then add little water at a time and then knead it to make a nice firm and yet smooth dough. I'm going to drizzle some oil so to ensure that the dough is not sticky, and we'll knead it just a little bit, and once it's done I'm going to shape them into balls and then keep them aside and let it rest for about 10 minutes before we can make the paratha. So in that 10 minutes I'm going to show you how you can make your Chole Methi Sabzi. Okay, I'm just going to make portions of this, and this is going to be converted into a tawa paratha, and I'll show you how to get a nice flaky tawa paratha in just a bit. So into my preheated pan, I'm going to add in the ghee, and I'm going to be cooking the Chole Methi Sabzi in ghee. Ghee adds a good flavor and taste to the Chole Methi Sabzi. To this, I'm going to add in some jeera seeds. I'm going to tear in the bay leaves, tej patta, and add in the chopped ginger, garlic, and the onions. So we'll also add in the SLIT green chilies and allow the ginger, garlic, and onions to saute until to cook until it becomes nice and soft, and it just has to become tender and soft. After that, we'll add in the tomatoes. Now that the onions have softened, I'll add the tomatoes, and I'm going to add all the remaining masalas and then cook the tomatoes in the masala until it becomes nice and mushy. So I'm going to add in some haldi, some garam masala, red chili powder, and lots of coriander powder. That's it. So I'm just going to quickly give this a stir and then cook it on low heat so that the tomatoes become nice and soft. It takes about good 3 to 4 minutes. We'll wait until then. So the tomatoes have softened, and I'm going to add in the chopped methi leaves now. They're washed and chopped, and methi doesn't take long time to cook at all. So within like a minute, it'll all wilt down and then it'll get soft in just less than a minute. So just give it a toss in the heat. Notice that it's already wilting down. I'm going to sprinkle some salt at this stage and stir fry it so that when you add salt, the methi will soften quickly. So while the methi is getting softened, I'm not going to wait for it to wilt down completely and cook completely. I'm going to go ahead and add my cooked chana, Kabuli chana. So here I've soaked the chana for a good 8 hours, and then our pressure cooker cooked it for about 8 to 10 whistles, a good 30 minutes, okay? And once it's done, this is going to be a suka sabzi, so I took out all the water. There was not much water remaining. So, and even if there is just that just that little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and add it in. So it's going to add a little bit of moisture to this dry sabzi. So now I'm going to turn up the heat to a little medium high, and saute all of it together until the masala gets well coated into the chana. And then after that, you can simmer it and then cook for about 4 to 5 minutes on low heat, so that everything gets well coated with the masala. The chana gets all the masala inside out. So, and that's it. And while this is getting cooked, we'll go ahead and cook the tawa paratha, and then we'll be ready to serve both of them for a quick lunch or a dinner. To make the paratha, I'm going to dust the surface with some flour and dust the paratha dough in some flour as well. So I'm going to show you how to shape it into a triangle. So for that, just roll out the paratha, keep dusting it with flour. If it's sticky, because we've added spring onions, it'll release a lot of moisture. So just roll it out, and then we'll sprinkle some flour and then fold it into half and then another half. So there you have your triangle there, and dust it in flour once again and roll it out into a paratha of your desired thickness. Okay, so if it's sticky, dust with a little more flour and then roll it out. That's it. So keep your pan preheated so that you can cook the paratha in ghee. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll a few more parathas and then cook them in the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and melt some ghee on my pan and quickly place the paratha, the Hara Pyaz ka paratha, in the pan, and then cook it on medium-high heat until it gets nice and brown and crisp on both the sides. Okay. So you need to keep flipping and turning it, and if you feel you need more ghee, you can smear a little more, but I think just a little bit of ghee is good enough and you'll get a nice paratha. Notice the bright green colors, and keep slightly pressing it towards the edges, because edges is where it remains kacha. Okay, just keep pressing it a little bit and then flip and cook until it's done. Notice that I'm just constantly pressing, flipping and turning, and this particular motion sort of makes the paratha nice and crisp, and it's nicely golden brown on both the sides. And now that's done, I'm going to go ahead and cook the remaining parathas, and then my meal would be ready. So that's my paratha, it's ready, and I'm going to go ahead and serve my Chole Methi Sabzi, which is also ready while I was making the parathas. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Didn't you think making this really quick and delicious lunch or breakfast, or even for a weeknight dinner, it can actually fit into any meal. Serve it with some achar, some pickled onions. All you have to do is slice up the onions, squeeze in some nimbu and add some kala namak, and you'll have your pickled onions, and this meal will taste absolutely delicious. Do give this recipe a try. When you do, don't forget to share your feedback in the comments below. Like always, I'll be looking to hear back from you. Until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.